All right, we are live on Facebook, live on Instagram, and here on Zoom. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. If this is your first ever episode, I'm so happy to have you here. Each week, we go through different topics that span health and wellness, that span Ayurveda, stress, COVID, all of the things that are going on in our mind right now. So if you're here, whatever part you're on, I see multiple screens happening. Let me know where you are in the world and what you're excited about today or what brings you joy. So we are just assembling. Everybody's coming in, all good. I am so happy to be here. If we haven't met before, let me introduce myself briefly while we're all getting acquainted. My name is Lauren Baptiste, and I am an executive wellness coach and founder of Acheloa Wellness. My firm helps individuals break through the effects of stress so that they can thrive. And I do this by giving amazing individuals just like you the tools, the techniques, the mindset shifts to be successful in this environment. So we've gone through a whole year of content. It's November. We started the first week of January, covering a whole host of topics. So if you feel at any point I'm behind or I don't know what's going on or, oh, maybe we talked about this, right? Head over to our website at acheloawellness.com. And there we have a ton of blog posts and content, and you can even check out these videos. You can find us on Facebook too. Really, wherever you are, we're there too. But let's get into it because we are talking about Pitta Dosha. Last week we talked about Vata Dosha and balancing stress in time of Vata. Today we're focusing on balancing stress when we're dealing with Pitta. So we've never heard of Ayurveda before. This is your one-on-one, 101. And we've talked about what Ayurveda is, and you can go back to prior episodes, but essentially it's an evidence-based science dating back over 3,500 years. And in that time, they've created truth. And so even 3,500 years ago, there were these 5 elements that comprise earth, water, fire, air, ether. 3,500 years later today, we're still experiencing those 5 elements, and we'll have that tomorrow and 3,500 plus years into our future, which is really exciting because when we think of Ayurveda, the one thing that I think about all the time is truth, evidence, over and over and over. This isn't a new thing. This isn't just like the most trendy thing you've seen recently on Twitter or Instagram or even TikTok, which is trendier than trendy, but it's actually these principles applied over time. So we're talking about Pitta today because many of us, I hear, feel Pitta when they're at work, when they're stressed. And so what is Pitta? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Well, last week when we were talking about Vata, that was space and air. So Pitta is the elements of fire and water. And so according to Ayurveda, there are these organizing principles, these doshas that make up how we function, our physiology, how we think, our psychology, and when they go wrong, what that creates, disease or pathology. And so when we're thinking of, well, why does fire and water matter while I'm at work? Well, whether we're experiencing it in our body, whether it's dealing with acid reflux, heartburn, burning eyes, red skin, or feeling like rosacea or psoriasis, something like that. Even hot-blooded, that term I think is so great because it's like hot-blooded, that's truly the nature of Pitta. It's fire in your blood. Or even indigestion, you're always hungry, right? The fire in the belly is off. Any of these things physically can affect us, but how about mentally? Mentally, it can look like anger, jealousy, envy. It could look like overly competitiveness, judgmental, critical. You can maybe, if your Pitta is imbalanced, you're going to burn bridges and you're like, I don't care, I'm quitting my job today. I don't care what anyone thinks, right? We burn bridges when our fire is too strong. But more often than not, we just see Pitta showing up as this tendency to overwork. So this is what's happening, right? And this is how it's showing up. Fire plus water creates this element that's showing up in you. And maybe, right, you're noticing those little things that are happening in your skin or in your mindset, but what do I do to balance it when I'm feeling off, when I'm feeling not myself? Well, the good thing is there's a lot of things that you can do. And the best part about it is that it's not that hard to do if you incorporate even 15 minutes a day. And so I'm going to offer a couple of things that will support you as you're thinking through how you can balance Pitta. Now, we've talked about Pitta, but just to give a little of an update, Pitta comes usually in the middle of our life, the most fiery time of our life. It exacerbates especially in the summer and late summer. So that's the Pitta time of year. There's even the Pitta time of day, which would be now from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the a.m. and in the p.m. So during lunchtime and also midnight. So if you ever notice you want to go to bed and around 10 o'clock you're exhausted, but the moments after that you get a second wind, it's because Pitta is coming back to life and it's getting all fired up. So if you're experiencing that, maybe it even affects your sleep. So what can we do? What can we do? Let's focus on that, because that's where I want to give you tools that you can feel and try to start to feel better. And so when we have fire, what do? We want to put it out, right? A firefighter comes in and he or she gets rid of that entire fire. So what we want to do is cool down. So if you're feeling that heat in your activity or heat in your body or even the heat in the mind, we want to cool down. And here are a few things that you can try. You can try, first of all, massaging your body with coconut oil. Not any other oil. Coconut is nice and cooling. So if you're experiencing the red skin or the hot blood, you might want to try with some coconut oil to feel better. Other things you could do is a cool foot bath or even a cold shower. But I know for a lot of us, if we're dealing with colder temperatures, a cold shower is not attractive right now. But what we can try is washing our feet in cold water, just stepping into the tub, turning on the cold water, and then coming back and then experiencing the cold water on our feet. Another thing we could do, maybe if it's still nice weather outside by you, I know yesterday here it was 73 degrees in November, so you never know. But if you can even walk barefoot in grass, it has this cooling nature that feels incredible. A couple of other things you can do that will help cool down if you're feeling really fired up. Yoga, gentle yoga, restorative yoga, calming the body and mind down. Deep pranayama or breathing techniques you can try, which would be belly breathing or ujjayi breathing, which essentially you're just taking nice, slow, long breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Let's even do a few of those breaths together. So wherever you are, let's all exhale out together. Take a big inhale. And exhale slowly. Let's do 2 more breaths like that. Inhale and just see how you feel. Inhale, inhale. Exhale. Awesome. 1 more deep breath. Inhale. And exhale. Notice how you feel. 3 breaths can make a difference in our mind, in our attitude, and it can even take down that fire after a nasty email, a hard meeting, a challenging moment. Give yourself these little breaks, these little pockets of time to support yourself versus just jumping on your phone and scrolling on social media. Give yourself this. So there are a lot of other cooling breaths, and I can link back into the show notes, but an alternate nostril breathing is incredibly cooling, or Shatali breath, which is essentially breathing in and out with your tongue making a little hot dog shape. So like this. So breathing in and out. So what it's actually doing, it's like a straw. It's slowing the breath, but it's actually attracting the cold air or bringing in only cool air. And if you try that with yourself, you may notice that you experience or feel that too. Anyway, we'll keep moving, but that's something fun you can play with that will cool you down. Other things you can do, swimming, spend time in nature, even relax in the shade. Those can be really nice things to do. But if your mind is so fired up, so jealous, so like, I need to be competitive and beat out the person next to me, the best medicine I can offer to you is to volunteer. Volunteering, it actually calms the mind. they say Pittas are essentially all in their head. They're all in their brain trying to control the world and make things happen. But if you actually just volunteer or give service, or we call seva in the Vedas, it's just giving to others and yourself, you realize you're not just a head. You're not just this like body holding up your head, but you're truly connecting to the heart. So volunteering is a really incredible thing that you can offer and do, which is really nourishing. What other things can you do? You can start to pull yourself away from the distractions that keep your mind turned on all the time. So overbooking yourself, running from meeting to meeting, can you space it out a little bit more? A lot of times when I'm even talking to individuals, they're saying the most thing that's getting them all worked up is all of the social stuff on top of work. So social stuff can be slowed down, especially in this time of work from home. So be mindful of giving yourself time to just relax, chill out, right? We call it chilling out and cooling down for a reason. It's time to slow down. All right. And what else can we do? So if you're the type that's experiencing the fire more in the body, maybe less in the mind, if you're experiencing it in the mind too, but your body might tend to be cold. Like I have a fiery mind, but a cold body. This could help. I would say this is better for someone who has heat in the body. And it's favoring cooling foods, simple foods, things that grow in the summer, right? Corn or strawberries, really astringent foods. So even kale, your greens, sweet foods, grains, coconut water, cucumber. You hear me, like all these like cold, watery, watermelon, right? These types of fruits and vegetables that are nice and cool. But again, if you're someone who's like, I'm always cold and it's November, you don't want to eat that type of food. So you might want to favor more of the breath and the exercise and the slowing down versus the cold food. So it's really knowing where does your fire show up. That's a really important element. And one of the best things I can suggest for those that are real fired up, really fiery, is to avoid caffeine. Because caffeine has this spreading effect. And although bitter foods benefit our Pitta friends or our Pitta imbalanced friends, having coffee spreads a fire. So it's that quick hit that gets you back in the game and gets you really amped up. And if you can avoid that and have natural bursts of energy through your breath or through slow movement or just a good night's sleep, you probably don't even need that coffee. I know people hate when I say that, but I promise, stick around. I'm like, it's good. It'll benefit you. It'll benefit you. So I would love to know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop anything in the chat. I see individuals on different platforms. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in. But this is how we can reduce Pitta. And what it's going to do is help us feel more balanced. It's going to help us feel more alivened and just in control of our emotions and our actions. And that is really, in this time of quarantine, we don't have much control, but if I can control what I say and what I do and how I act, it's going to have a huge difference in my well-being. So this is Pitta. I'm going to do these few things and I'm going to ask you, like, what is the one thing that you can bring in that can help you cool down if you're feeling fired up by Pitta? And if you're saying, hey, like, I don't experience heartburn or diarrhea or bloodshot eyes or like really hot menstrual cycle cramps, right? If I'm not experiencing those types of symptoms, maybe Pitta isn't the one that's affecting you. Maybe it's Vata, which we talked about last week, or maybe it's Kapha, which we'll talk about next week. And that has a whole different effect because it's involving two other elements. Water is shared between Pitta and Kapha, but earth is brought in versus fire, which is a whole other game. So that is what we're going to talk about next week. I'm really excited to take it there. Just wanted to reiterate the special we're doing for the month of November. If you are seeking an Ayurvedic health consult, we are doing that for $30 off. So you can reach out to me if you're interested. And that's a really incredible experience to help you understand what is your constitution and what are the foods that are going to benefit you and the activities that support your mind and the ways that you can honor your senses so that you can go deeper. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out. That sale is good until the end of November. And that's it for today. I'm really excited to share Pitta with you. Vata is was a challenge, but we went through it and we conquered it last week, and I'm excited to go through Kapha. And we only have now officially 7 more episodes until we're done with our Wellness Wednesday series. It's been such a fun year, 7 more weeks, 7 opportunities to go deep in your path. So don't wait, hang out, jump in, take charge now. Don't wait for 2021 to make a change. You still have 7 weeks to do something amazing with your life. So don't throw out 2020. The best is yet to come. All right, everybody, wishing you an incredible rest of your day, rest of your week. I will see you next week as we go into our next and final dosha, Kapha. Talk to you soon. Bye.